Iran has drawn a line across the water. Cross it, and they will open fire. Tehran has formally claimed the Strait of Hormuz as its own, releasing a map, issuing coordinates, and telling every ship in the region, you answer to us now. Trump called it Project Freedom. Iran has renamed it Target. Iran's military has put the United States on notice. Any forces moving toward the Strait of Hormuz will be met with force. The Qatam al-Anbiya Joint Military Command, Iran's highest operational headquarters, issued the warning on May 4th after US President Donald Trump announced Project Freedom, a US military operation to escort stranded vessels through the waterway. The command said foreign armed forces, particularly the US military, would be targeted if they attempted to approach or enter the strait. Any American move to alter the current situation, it warned, would only deepen the crisis and put ships at greater risk. All vessels, it added, must coordinate passage with Iranian armed forces stationed in the strait or face the consequences.
The criminal leaders and the aggressive terrorist American army had recently resorted to piracy and banditry in international waters, endangering global trade and economic security.
The IRGC Navy hardened that position further, releasing a new map formally staking out the area it claims to control. The zone, according to the map shown by state media, stretches from Quwq-e-Mubarak in Iran to south of Fujairah in the UAE, and from Iran's Keshm Island across to al-Quwain. Iran's foreign ministry fell in line. Spokesman Esmail Baghai told reporters Tehran's forces were fully prepared to act.
The international community must hold the United States and the Zionist regime accountable for imposing insecurity on this waterway, for creating problems that are being felt across the world, and must prevent the United States from further complicating the existing situation. Certainly, ships, ship owners, and shipping companies are well aware that ensuring their safety and security requires coordination with the relevant authorities of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Baghai laid the blame for stalled diplomacy squarely on Washington, accusing the US of stonewalling negotiations with demands that Tehran considers unreasonable.
What is clear is that the world neither accepts America's humanitarian claims nor believes that the United States can emerge from this self-created quagmire, which has caused many problems for our region, for America itself, and for the international community. By repeating past mistakes, Americans should by now have learned this lesson, that in dealing with the Iranian nation, they cannot use the language of threat and coercion.
Baghai confirmed Iran had received a US response through Pakistan and was reviewing it, but offered little optimism.
Please allow me not to discuss the details of it at this time that have been presented, as they are currently under review. However, you can well imagine that it is not easy for the United States to abandon its habit of excessive demands and unreasonable demands. Therefore, we are still facing a party that both continually changes its positions and raises issues that could in practice disrupt any diplomatic process.
As the proposals and counter-proposals go back and forth, the Strait of Hormuz remains a flashpoint both sides seem not to budge on. What happens next remains to be seen, and for now the waters of the Persian Gulf are simmering underneath. A fragile ceasefire may be holding on the surface, but beneath the waters of the Gulf, a new and deeply unsettling threat is emerging. Iran is considering unconventional methods to challenge a United States military blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, including the possible use of dolphins armed with mines, the Wall Street Journal reported. As economic pressure mounts in Tehran, fears are growing that the next phase of this confrontation could come from beneath the sea. The strategic waterway has been under a financially crippling American military blockade for weeks, severely restricting Iran's oil exports and increasing pressure on the country's economy. while an extended and tense ceasefire between Washington and Tehran remains in place. Anger is reportedly rising among Iranian hardliners. A growing number now believe that the blockade amounts to an act of war, despite the absence of direct, large-scale fighting. Those voices are said to be urging Iran's leadership to resume military action rather than continue absorbing the economic damage caused by the restrictions. The reported Dolphin Plan would represent one of the most unusual tactics considered in the standoff. According to Iranian officials cited in the report by WSJ, mine-carrying dolphins could be used to strike American naval vessels deployed in the region. The report also says Tehran could send submarines into the waterway as part of a broader escalation strategy. Any such move in the Strait of Hormuz would immediately raise global alarm, given the route's importance to international energy supplies and maritime trade. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the most strategically vital choke points in the world. A significant share of global oil shipments passes through the narrow corridor, making any military disruption there a matter of worldwide concern. But the reported threats do not end at sea traffic. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard has also threatened to cut key communications cables running through the strait. Those undersea cables are essential for international telecommunications and internet connectivity. Damage to them could disrupt global data flows, affect financial systems, and increase pressure far beyond the Middle East. Analysts say the economic pain caused by the blockade is changing calculations inside Tehran. Hamidreza Azizi, a visiting fellow specializing in the Middle East at the Berlin-based research institute SWP, told the Wall Street Journal.
The blockade is increasingly viewed in Tehran not as a substitute for war, but as a different manifestation of it. As a result, Iranian decision-makers may soon come to see renewed conflict as less costly than continuing to endure a prolonged blockade.
He added that Iranian decision-makers may soon conclude that renewed conflict is less costly than continuing to endure a prolonged blockade. That assessment points to a dangerous shift. If economic strangulation is seen as war by another name, the political barriers to escalation may begin to weaken. So far, the ceasefire has prevented a wider regional conflict. However, the combination of financial pressure, military deployments, and increasingly aggressive rhetoric suggests the situation remains highly volatile.